Dominic by William Steig, 19. Later that night, he came out of the woods and found himself in a garden. At the edge of the garden was a marble fountain whose jets rose gently, curved gracefully outward, and fell like soft rain into a pool, crimson-lined and full of goldfish. In the magic moonlight, every droplet of spray glistened like a pearl. Dominic gazed at the fountain, feeling his soul washed by the sight of it, enjoying the coolness that caressed him. Suddenly he smelled that smell again, the scent that so intrigued him, that brought him premonitions of unknown joy. The smell of the doll was in the air of the garden. A resplendent peacock appeared from the other side of the fountain and bowed before Dominic. The iridescent hues of his spreading tail, the lustrous ovals, were quite clear in the light of the moon. Even the feather's delicate fringing was plainly visible. The spray from the fountain reflected the peacock's colors in dim rainbows. Behind the peacock, behind the fountain, were tiers of multicolored flowers Dominic suddenly noticed. "Welcome to the garden, Dominic," said the peacock graciously. "Thank you," said Dominic. "You have such a beautiful tail. It makes the fountain more beautiful and the flowers, and they do the same for your tail." The peacock bowed again and rustled his feathers proudly, as if he were fluttering a fan. "Whose garden is this?" Dominic asked. "This is an enchanted garden," said the peacock, "and I am its seneschal. No one but you has ever found his way here. You are the first visitor." "I feel honored," said Dominic quietly. "You are extremely special," said the peacock. Dominic didn't know what to say next. He looked around. "I've never seen such beautiful flowers," he exclaimed. "Yes," said the peacock. "They never grow old. They never die." "Not even in winter?" Dominic asked. "It is never winter here," said the peacock. "It may be winter all around. Blizzards may rage, but it is never, ever winter in this spot. I can reach out and touch the snow, feel its freezing coldness, and still be standing where it's always sunny." "Amazing," said Dominic. Though he had seen so many marvels, his sense of wonder never waned. "Let me show you around," said the peacock. "As long as you're here, I've had no one to talk to for many a year, though oddly, I haven't been lonesome. I've spent a good deal of time admiring my tail. It's nice to have someone else admire it for a change, to hear it praised." "What are those flowers?" asked Dominic, pointing to a row of large blossoms of deep crimson and royal violet, speckled with white. "Touch one," said the peacock. Dominic did, and there was a delicate ringing of bells. "Touch another." He did, and now there was music, a lovely light melody as if breezes were playing on a wind instrument. He touched other flowers, and there was orchestration, strings, soft brasses, reeds, light percussion. Dominic felt called upon to join in. Under the golden moon he played his golden piccolo, and he and the flowers understood one another and rose to greater and greater heights of loveliness. The peacock spread his gorgeous tail above him and listened. Dominic did not know how long he played, and when the music was over, there was no stopping him. He had to sit on his haunches and yield to some deeply felt howling. Not harsh pent-up howls this time, but soft, yodeling ululations, expressive of feeling that affirmed his presence in an ancient yet young universe. The peacock attended respectfully till Dominic was done. Having expressed his feelings, Dominic looked around once more. He noticed a building toward the back of the garden. It looked like a miniature palace. It had a tiny dome surrounded by tiny turrets and arched windows, and an arched doorway, all profusely encrusted with colored gems. "What is that?" he asked. It was as if he were being introduced to these marvels one at a time, in some predetermined order. "That?" said the peacock. "That is what this garden is the setting for. That is why this fountain is here and why I am here. And that is really why you are here, if I am not mistaken." "May I go in?" asked Dominic. "Indeed you may, but tiptoe, for someone is asleep in there who has been asleep for many years." Dominic approached the entrance, shivering with anticipation. Among the aromas of the garden flowers, there stood out clearly the scent he had first encountered on the doll he carried in his bandana. The door gave way easily, and Dominic found himself in a room where candles flickered and moonlight streamed through stained glass windows, illuminating a canopied bed where the most beautiful dog he had ever seen lay sleeping. She was black and shimmered in patterns of luminous purple, yellow, green, blue, and carmine from the windows. She looked unreal. Shyly, how odd for Dominic to be shy, he touched her. Instantly she was awake, gazing at him with large black eyes. "Are you the one?" she asked. "I think I am," said Dominic. "Do you have the doll?" "Yes, I do," said Dominic. "You're the one," she said. They looked a long time at each other, and both were happy with what they saw. It was preordained. No doubt the witch alligator would have predicted it if Dominic had allowed her to. "How long have I been here?" asked the beauty. "I don't know," said Dominic, "but the peacock in the garden says many years." "Peacock? I didn't know there was a peacock. Yes, I guess I have been here many years. Do I still look young?" "Yes," said Dominic. "Yes, you do. You're beautiful. I was told I wouldn't grow older while I was asleep, that I'd remain unchanged until the right one came along to break the spell, just like Sleeping Beauty." "What's your name?" Dominic asked. "Evelyn," she said. "The doll you have was mine when I was a child. I loved that doll and I always had it with me. One day when I'd grown up and decided I was no longer a child, I threw it away. I remember I was standing in a field thinking about life and about myself and about growing up. I became eager for the future, and I felt the doll changed me to the past, so I got rid of it. But even while I was walking away from the field, I began to have doubts. I had been happy in my puppy days. Would I be a happy grown-up? I wandered about in a sort of trance until I found myself standing in front of an alligator witch." "I should have known!" Dominic exclaimed. "The alligator witch!" Evelyn nodded and continued. "What's wrong?" she asked me, and I told her. "Come with me," the witch said, and she took me by the paw. I followed her without questioning, without having an impulse to question. She brought me here. "You are going to sleep," she said, "maybe for a long time. Someone will find your doll, and whoever finds it will also find you. You can be sure of that." "Now you must sleep," she said, and I obediently went to sleep. I was under her spell. I had no thought of doing anything but what she suggested. "Anyway, here you are, the one who found my doll. The witch was right." "The witch was right," Dominic agreed. "May I have my doll?" said Evelyn. Dominic gave her the doll, and she hugged it, like a long-lost child. "Let's leave right away," she said. "I've been here so long, I want to be out in the world again." Dominic realized he was at the beginning of a great new adventure. "Let's go," he said. Together, they left the little palace. And that is the end of Dominic. And that concludes our dog books, going all the way back to Laura's Gift, Scrub Dog of Alaska, and The Surprise of the Dogs in An Acceptable Time. Our next book will be another fantasy, and I will see you then.